Yeah, we've heard it all before. The silver price explosion, it's going to break out and finally outperform gold. How can I make a video like this on a day when gold has gone up and silver has gone down? Well, I like to live dangerously and on the edge. I'll explain about this pattern we're looking at that could signal an actual silver explosion, a bull run. Let's talk about it as we explore. Yeah, it frustrates many of us unless we're buyers and we want to get the best price possible, and we so believe in silver that we're absolutely ecstatic when the price keeps falling and the ratio keeps widening between gold and this metal, silver. But I would venture to guess that even those of you who are ardent silver stackers out there, you got to be discouraged from time to time when we see what's going on in the markets, much as like what's happening right now. But I'm going to be referencing a piece here from the Jerusalem Post, who they've actually have been kind of on the game in terms of what's going on or what in the silver and precious metals market. And this is a piece that I thought was quite interesting about a cup and handle. We're getting into some technical analysis, which is something I don't normally do on this channel, but we're going to get into it here and talk about silver's historic cup and handle pattern, because this is something that we're starting to witness yet again. And if pattern, and that's really what technical analysis is, by the way, it's pattern analysis. And, usually these patterns tend to repeat themselves, usually, and not always. Just like history, often it may not necessarily repeat, but oftentimes it does rhyme. And that's what this is kind of about, and that is the backdrop from which I want to share this news with you, and this analysis that we could see something big happening in silver, but maybe not. This is not foolproof. Technical analysis is just essentially what has been done in the past. Which would or could happen in the future. Silver, though, has been long overshadowed by gold. It's poised for a historic surge. Many people feel it's long overdue, myself included, by the way. A groundbreaking technical analysis reveals a massive cup and handle formation spanning over the last 44 years. So this is something that we're looking back. I'm going to show you this chart here in a minute that gives you some insight as to what we're looking at. It's a mini version of what's been happening over the past 44 plus years. This could be a potential moonshot for silver's prices. Now again, you're hearing me use words like could be and potential, much as in this article here. We have to be as realistic as possible about silver, because no matter how you feel about things like manipulation or price suppression, one thing we know for sure is that through the course of history and time, silver indeed has preserved your wealth if you buy it the right way. Silver, unfortunately, is a metal that you've got to be a little bit more strategic about when you buy, as opposed to gold. There isn't any cup and handle, really, essentially is what this is saying. It's the granddaddy of them all. Or it says this isn't just any cup and handle. It's the granddaddy of them all, dwarfing any other pattern in recent history. Renowned financial experts, including Mike Maloney, are predicting a meteoric rise, with silver potentially reaching mid to high triple digits. That means well over $100 silver for those of you in Rio Linda. And here is the chart that shows it. Let's take a look at this. And unfortunately, we can't zoom in any more than this according to the screenshot here. But silver ever since 1980, and you can see what happened over here. This is the massive rise in the price. And then, of course, 2011 is the other end of that cup. And so this is something that very well could mean that this is the first cup for the past 40 years, and now this is the second cup, or maybe the handle. This might be the handle of the cup, but this in and of itself is kind of its own cup. And you know what happens at the end of the cup and the handle? Well, typically it goes back down again too, so we have to think about that as well. So what is the underlying economic and technical factors driving silver's potential ascent? And let's find out how this might be the perfect time to invest in the precious metal. Although I don't like to use that term, because that means you're hoping for a return above and beyond inflation-adjusted numbers. A cup and handle pattern is a technical chart formation that often signals a bullish reversal. It resembles a cup-shaped formation followed by a handle-like consolidation period. The cup portion represents this period of a price decline followed by a gradual recovery. And indeed, and we've seen that throughout history, and we've seen it especially during the mid-2000s, as we saw from that chart there. The handle is the brief period of sideways trading or a slight pullback before the price resumes its upward trend, which seems to be that's where we're at right now. When the price breaks above the neckline of the handle, it signals a potential breakout and significant price increase. Silver's cup and handle pattern spans over 44 years, dwarfing most others and hinting at a potential monumental price surge. Some of the predictions from experts like Mike Maloney, whose name keeps being presented here, but others as well, believe this formation signifies a baked-in-the-cake trajectory towards mid to high triple digits for silver, potentially reaching a staggering $921 per ounce. That's almost $1,000 silver, according to some of the technical analysis there. I think that's ridiculous and crazy. I would be shocked if we got to $100 silver base off of this, but I think this is something that, they're looking at all these numbers and thinking about what happened in 2011 and in 1980 and putting it on steroids. I don't think that's going to happen in any way, shape, or form. Now, the cup and handle pattern combined with rising demand, inflation concerns, and geopolitical tensions create a strong bullish outlook for silver. And indeed, it does. There is a lot of geopolitical concerns, inflation, and everything else that really is favoring some of this, even independent of the cup and handle pattern. But the cup and handle pattern, and along with some of the data from the past, leads credence to this theory. Now, the gold and silver team, which I think is Mike Maloney's organization, provides valuable analysis and insights into silver's potential, highlighting the relationship between the expanding currency supply and silver's price appreciation. In other words, keep in mind the source. Gold and silver is a bullion dealer. They want to sell you silver. So keep that in mind. And I think this might be where this is coming from. Maybe it's paid post. I don't know. But anyways, consider diversifying your portfolio with precious metals like silver, as the current market conditions present favorable opportunities. Since its 1980 peak, silver has faced challenges in surpassing its previous highs. However, the current cup and handle formation suggests a potential breakthrough. Now, we're going to look at that chart again, because there's something we have to think about too that could lead us to another possibility, and it's not good. Although I don't think it's going to happen either. In fact, I think in some cases it may be even less likely to happen than a bull run for silver. Not necessarily an explosion, but a bull run, which in a sense we are in a part of right now. We also have to understand Chinese demand. Increasing demand for silver from China, both from investment and industrial purposes, could further drive prices higher. And I agree with that. They are importing a lot of, including unrefined silver. I've reported that before in this channel as well too. Also Indian demand. So based off of the technical and fundamental analysis, there's a strong possibility for a significant price increase in silver. While it's difficult to predict the exact magnitude or timing of the surge, investors should closely monitor the market for potential entry points. And that's going to be very tough to do. That's why I like the idea of dollar cost averaging, and you monitor for those price points. Why? Well, because if you see a dip, especially a pretty significant dip, which we've seen enough of those for sure to merit this kind of move into buying a little bit more silver during your dollar cost averaging strategy. But silver, a lovely metal for sure. But let's take a look at something again on this, because I want you to see this chart up close again and see where we're at right now here. And we're right here in 2024. And you see what happened before in 2011. We did see a consolidation period here. I assume that is the handle. And then it went down. If we're looking at this bubble alone, as it in a very small handle there, then it went down. They're looking at this beige portion as the handle, though. They're looking at that as the handle. But I think this very well could be the handle from the previous time where it went down. But what happens after the handle? Usually it is a drop in price. So let's say that the price continues to go up here, and this is what's odd here is it's showing $30.77 here, and they've clipped it. They've clipped the cup right here where it went up to, well, $48 an ounce, and that's what this is in a very brief amount of time. And so that's what that little, thing for these candlestick, and that is the actual candlestick or what have you of it in the upwards direction, and then it went down. In other words, there's a possibility of this movement up here matching this, where we could see it spike up maybe even to $48 an ounce and then come right back down. And then another cup would form right here. See what I'm doing with my mouse right there? In other words, we could see it dip back below between $25 an ounce. That is quite a possibility, although I think that is not quite as likely as we head into 2030 to that level. But you never know. It's very interesting. We are at a point in time where anything is possible. So just word to the wise, something to consider and think about. But silver, an amazing metal, no matter how you slice it, no matter what happens, no matter how close you look at the charts and what the data are telling you through the past. One thing is for sure, over the long course of time, you should not really consider silver as an investment. You should consider it as a strategy against, protecting your wealth through currency devaluation, first and foremost, as a savings vehicle outside of the system, and the secondary notion there. And what's the best way to stack? Bars, like I just showed you there. Silver Eagles is a good way to stack as well, too. But take everything that I say or anybody else says about silver and what could or should happen as a grain of salt. But one thing you can take to the bank, pun intended, especially as you become your own central bank, having silver in your portfolio is a wise thing to do to protect yourself. And I'm glad I have it in my stack. So let me know what your thoughts are about this story. I hope you found it informative, insightful, and educational. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch. And yep, I'm going to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.